Hi, I'm certainly glad you could join me today. You ready to do a fantastic little painting with me? Super. Drag out the old easy chair or the easel, whatever, and let's do one together. Let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. And they'll come across in the same order as I have them on the palette. While they're doing that, let's go on up here. Have our 18 by 24 inch canvas. It's all covered with liquid white. It's ready to go, so let's go. I thought today we'd do a happy little scene. I'm going to start out with a little touch of alizarin crimson and just tap it into the 2-inch brush. Need very, very little paint. Don't get carried away with the paint. Just a little bit goes a long way. Let's go right up here. Now I'm going to go right in, right about here, and just make little crisscross strokes, little X's. Little X's. And when you're doing this, use very little paint. Very little paint. Don't want to set the sky on fire. All we want to do is have a nice pinkish glow in the sky. There we go. Very little paint. I think we'll have a little water in this, so maybe when I have that on the brush, just put a little bit right down here. There we are. Okay. Now then, same old dirty brush. I'm going to load a touch of the phthalo blue. Phthalo blue, and just tap the brush right into a little bit of color, very little. Then we can go right up to the top and still using the little crisscross strokes, the little X's. Little X's. We'll just dance in a happy little sky here. Now the paint is continually mixing with the liquid white, and the color gets lighter and lighter as you work downward. There we go. Okay, and we said we was going to have water, so let's add a little bit down at the bottom here. Just a touch, just a touch. Pull from the outside in. I don't want to kill my little pink area. I want to save that. That's going to be your friend. Okay, a little bit on the other side. We don't want water on just one side of this pond. We want water on both sides. There we go. Now then, let me wash the old brush. And we wash our brushes as usual with odorless paint thinner. These are oil paints, so you need paint thinner to get the paint out of the brush. Shake off the excess. And just cover everybody in the studio. Okay, nice, clean, dry brush. I want to go right back up here where the two different colors meet and begin blending, still using little crisscross strokes. And you want to blend this until it's so soft you can't tell where one color stops and the next one starts. And maybe when you're doing this at home, step back and take a look-see. When you're really close to it, it's hard to see. It's hard to see. So step back and look at it. Make sure it's blended the way you want it. Okay, there we are. And we'll just use some long horizontal strokes to take out all the brush marks. And at the bottom, we just blend all this together. Just blend it together. Okay. And we're ready. Shoot, let's have some fun. Tell you what, let's make a mountain today. We'll make a big old mountain. I'll use some black, a little Prussian blue, grab some alizarin crimson, put some Van Dyke brown there too. What the heck? Looking for a nice dark color. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. And then cut across with a knife and get that little roll of paint. Here we are. Let's go. And let's come right up in here and make a big decision. Where does your mountain live? Maybe our mountain's going to live, yeah, there it is. And push this firmly into the fabric. Really push hard. Get mean, strong with it. Just push it right in there. Maybe there's another peak here. You just decide how many peaks live in your mountains and drop them in. You can do anything you want on this canvas. Anything. You've heard me say it over and over. This is your world. And you can do anything here. And we'll just sort of let that drift off. I think maybe I'll put some trees over here so we'll cover that up. Okay, now we'll take a 2-inch brush and I want to pull that down. If you can see the entire mountain. It's always more distinct at the top than it is the bottom. So by pulling it down like this, automatically that happens. automatically that happens. The color's mixing with the liquid white, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter down toward the base. And then we can just blend it here a little bit. This old mountain range just looks like it's sitting up here in the sky and floating. And that'll give us some nice mist at the base when we're finished. There we go. We're ready. Shoot. Tell you what, we'll use titanium white. And I'm going to grab a little bit of black. A little black and a little bit of brown, just a small amount. I want to dull this white down. So I have black, a little brown, a little Van Dyke brown in it. Pull it out very flat, just like we did before, and then cut across. And we have our little roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife. Most important that you load this knife correctly. Spend some time and practice loading the knife. Now with no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Just touch and let the paint break. Let it break. There you go. And you can begin shaping and forming your mountain the way you want it. Just sort of think like a mountain. There we are. Maybe this one up here. This looks like the Grand Tetons. Teton. For many years I didn't know what that meant. A lady in class finally told me what Teton meant. And I'm not going to tell you. You have to go look it up. There. And when you look it up, you'll know why I didn't tell you. Okay, here we go. See, just barely touching the canvas, just barely touch, and just sort of let it graze here and there. Very light touch, no pressure, no pressure. Let your hand just float. Okay, maybe right in here. Just make a decision, drop it in. Or you can create all kinds of fantastic things. That easy. Over here, maybe a little light zings through here and hits right there and bounces and plays. Just has a good time. Good time. There we are. And a little bit right here too. What the heck? Just sort of thinking in your world where you want light to hit and you want these little mountains to sparkle, because you can do anything that you want to do here. You can create any illusion that you want. Any illusion that you want. Okay, I want to add a little touch of Prussian blue to that same color, just a little touch. Little touch, not much, not much. Just to really blue it down. Let me get the small knife. Let's use a small knife. It gets into those little areas better. And I'm going to load it the same way. A little roll of paint, just right out there. Okay, now then, here and there. I don't want much because I want it to stay dark, but here and there, just put the indication of a shadow. See? Don't overdo. Just a few. These are some very simple mountains that easy to do. You'll like these. There. See? Just sort of think where a shadow would live. And drop him in. There, wherever. Okay. Now then, we want to enhance that illusion of mist at the base. So I'm going to take a clean, dry brush and just tap. Just tap it. And I'm tapping quite firmly. You can probably hear it. I'm really hitting it, but just the base. You don't want to destroy. All you want to do is diffuse. Just diffuse. And then lift upward. That removes your little tap marks and creates this nicest, softest mist. There. There we go. See how that mountain just sort of floats in space there? That's what you're looking for. That's pretty. You'll like that. You'll like that. Tell you what, let's put a few little trees down at the base of that. We'll take some black, Prussian blue, brown, crimson, whatever. Sap green. We'll put a little sap green in there. Okay, just mix up a big pile of dark color. Okay, let me wipe off my knife. I think I'll just use a 1-inch brush. That's easy. Just pull it through the paint. pull it through the paint. Load it full of color. Okay, let's go right up here. Maybe there's some little trees that live back here in the distance. So just touch it, give it a little upward push. Just a little upward push. Don't kill all your mist area. You want to save that mist. See, there we go. And you make the decision here. How big are your trees? They're far, far away, so don't let them get too big. Far away. There. Maybe about like so. Wherever. Over here we got to have a little tree too. We'll just run them right off the edge. There. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna grab the old fan brush. Maybe. Load that brush full of paint. Okay, let's go right up here. Maybe back in here also are one or two little evergreen trees that live back here. We'll just throw a couple of those in. They're a lot of fun to do, and this will give you a little practice. And if there's a secret to painting or to anything else, it's practice. It's practice. There. You can do anything you want to do if you're willing to practice a little bit. There we go. Now then, find the old dirty brush here. Use it. Take a little bit of the dark sienna and the Van Dyke brown. And let's begin laying some land areas in here under these trees. All I'm doing is just tapping. We'll just tap some color. Just tap it. Okay. Just run it right up to the base of those trees. We'll make a little meadow that sits out here under these big mountains. Maybe it comes down to about there, somewhere around there, wherever you want it. There. And all we're doing here is just putting in a base color. Just putting in a base color. Okay, now you can also decide where you want your reflections to be and grab just the base of this and pull it down. Just the bottom. Just pull it down. See there? See there? That's easy. And it works so well. Reflections are one of the nicest things that happen in this technique. Just happens so beautifully. Okay. Let me grab another old 2-inch brush here. Make sure it's clean. I'm going to tap right into the yellow ochre, cad yellow. We'll grab some Indian yellow. And let's just mix them on the brush. Load the brush by tapping it. Just give it a little push. See? Tap. Okay, let's go right up here. Now then, maybe up in here, some nice little grassy areas in here. Just tap, tap, tap. See there? Okay. And make layer after layer after layer. That'll help create the illusion of depth in your painting. Now, if you have trouble making your paint stick, add a little bit of paint thinner. Tiny bit of paint thinner to your brush. Tiniest little bit. Can't say that enough. And just drop it on. Remember that a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. And work in layers, doing the most distant areas first and working forward. I'm going to touch a little bit of the bright red too. What the heck? Put some sparklers here and there. There we go. This looks like a nice fall painting out here in the meadow. There. And you just make layer after layer after layer. As many or as few as you want. See how soft that is though? And that'd be a super place to go out and take your shoes off and just sort of run around in there barefooted and have a good time. Talk to all the little creatures, little bunny rabbits live out there. There. And maybe some right in here, wherever you want them. Let's say yellow ochre, cad yellow, a little Indian yellow, and a touch of bright red here and there. And maybe right along this edge here, I'm going to go right into dark sienna with a 1-inch brush. Maybe there's some dark little bushes here. I'm just playing light against dark, dark against light, over and over. See, this dark color against the light, it'll really stand out. Just dark sienna. There we go. We can just bring it wherever you want it. Maybe right up in here. Okay. Now then, once again, we can take this 2-inch brush and grab just the edge of that, pull it down, and really enhance our reflections a little. And go across. There we are. Take our knife, go into a touch of the liquid white, just a touch, pull it out very flat, and cut across, like that, okay? Then we can go up in here, and let's put the indication here and there, a happy little water line that just sort of floats around. Once again, this is a light area against a dark. Separates, makes it look nice. There. And maybe there's a little ripple here and there on this pond. I don't know. Whatever you'd like. When I got the knife here, we can go up in here and there we can scrape the indication of a trunk and little sticks and twigs, all kinds of little things that are happening back here. Wherever you want them. There. All kinds of little sticks and trunks. That easy. Okay. Tell you what, it's such a nice place. Maybe there'd be a little cabin out here. Maybe one day there was an old farmer or a rancher that had a cabin out here and he got tired and moved away. There. So maybe one of the easiest ways to make a cabin is to scrape out a basic shape. Just scrape out your basic shape. Get the small knife here. And now let's just lay in some color. Start with Van Dyke Brown. All we're doing is putting in a base. This is just a base color. See? Now, come down to the front, sides, that easy. And all you're doing is just laying on undercolor so you can put highlights on top of it. There. But there's only 3 or 4 strokes there. And already you have the indication of a little cabin. So let's use some bright red, a little dark sienna in it. Mix it up. I'm going to put a touch of white. Ooh, that's nice. Don't overmix. Cut across and get a little roll of paint right on the edge of the knife. This is a small knife. Now then, we're just going to let it just float right down the top of this roof. Just touch it and let it bounce. Make it look like old shingles here that are just about ready to blow off. This cabin's had a rough life. It's like me. It's had a hard time. Okay, take a little dark sienna and white. And put the indication of a few little boards on the front. Add a little more brown to that and make it a little darker for the side. There. See, isn't that easy? You got a pretty good little cabin. Take a little bit of dark paint. Make some old slabs here. Just a little brown on the knife. Okay, shoot, tell you what. Let's take a little more brown. We'll put a little door right there. Gotta have a way to get in and out. And just sort of scrape around it to give it a nice outline. Maybe there's a window. Shoot, this is a big time cabin. Fancy cabin. It's got a window. Take a little touch of white. Just want to sort of highlight that edge so it stands out and you can see it a little better. There. Okay. Let's go back to our 2-inch brush and put a little grass right around his foot. Gotta have a little grass here. There. Just sort of bring it all together. Boy, that does look like an old cabin. It's caught the devil out there. Been a hard life. Hard life. Tell you what, let's have some fun. I'm going right into dark sienna, Van Dyke brown with a 2-inch brush and tap it. Just tap it. Said we was going to have some trees over here, so let's just begin tapping in some basic shapes. Right now we're painting the back of the tree. Now you begin working on some individual limbs. I'm going to add a little yellow ochre so it gets a little lighter. Got dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, just a touch of yellow ochre in there. Maybe this one just goes right on off the canvas. What the heck? What the heck? It's your tree. You put it wherever you want it. Pick up a little more of the yellow ochre. And let's just put the indication here and there of a little highlight. Not much yet. Not much yet. There. There we go. See? Okay. Now then, let me grab the old fan brush. We'll take the old fan brush and go right into Van Dyke brown. Load a lot of paint into the brush. A lot of paint. Okay, let's go back up here now. Now then, let's put some tree trunks. Just pull it right through. There's one. And you have to make some big decisions. How many trees live in your world? 2, 3, you say? All right, there's 3. And you can just go on and put as many or as few as you want in there. It's up to you, however many you want. I'm going to take some yellow ochre on a little bit of bright red too. Shoot, we'll get fancy here. Just tap it. Tap it. Okay. Let's go right up here. Let's put some nice leaves out here. These trees are far away, so I'm not too worried about a lot of detail. I want to have some nice colors just bouncing around and like so. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's take a little Van Dyke brown on the liner brush and down in here, let's just put the indication here and there of a little tree trunk it's showing through. Probably wouldn't see many, but you might see a few. These little details add interest to it, so drop in a few if you want them. Okay. Now then, all these soft little leaves. Jack Frost has been through there and touched these, and all the beautiful little colors are happening. And maybe down in here is a few little things on these bushes too. Okay, I'll tell you what, right here, let's pull that down and turn it right into a reflection. Get a touch more paint. That easy. See there, make a nice little reflection. Some brown. We need a stone, some dirt, all those things for it to set on right here. A little bit of brown and white. We can come right back in here. Add a little highlight on that. And we just tap in some little bushes that live right along the edge, wherever you want them. Okay, let's get crazy here. Tell you what, let's take some of our dark color, tap it right onto the 2-inch brush, and let's just put all kind of little bushes and stuff that live right along here. Just wherever you want them. All we're doing is tapping in some dark, so our light will show. Right on down. Okay. We need a little water line into this too. A little bit of the liquid white. There we go. Gives us a little water line. Now then, we can take all of our little fall colors and we can just tap in there. Little bushes and small trees and little places where the rabbits died. That easy. Hope you've enjoyed this little painting because it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It'll teach you how to use the equipment. Keep you interested for a long time. And from this, there's a million little ideas that can just evolve. Maybe a little more of that bright red. That's pretty. Whew. It's very nice. Okay, now we can take the knife and here and there, just here and there, just scrape in the indication of a little stick and a twig that you can see. Don't want too many, just a few. Now, shoot, let's get crazy. Go right into Van Dyke Brown with a fan brush again. Right in there. Maybe right over here. Such a nice place. Maybe there live some trees right there. There's another one. Maybe this old tree's dead. He's had a hard life out here. Let's see, so you just however many trees you want. Maybe that's a birch tree. Just grab it with the titanium white. Give it a little round pull. Just pull it. Old dead birch tree out here. Whatever kind of tree you want. Just drop it in. Like so. Then we take our script liner brush with paint thinner on it. And let's put a few little limbs on it. Not too many's left here. This old tree's about had it. And in your world, you put as many or as few as you want. There. The old clock on the wall's telling me it's about time to wrap it up for this week. I really hope you've enjoyed this painting. As I say, it'll teach you how to use the equipment, give you hours and hours of fun relaxation. From all of us here, happy painting. God bless.